Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson's fight was announced a few months ago, and since then the buzz has been non-stop. From social media debates to press conferences, the match has sparked controversy and excitement. On one hand, we have Jake Paul, the YouTuber turned boxer who's been making waves in the boxing community. On the other, the legendary Mike Tyson, whose mere presence in the ring is enough to send chills down anyone's spine. Tyson was one of the most fearsome punchers in the sport's history and one of only 23 undisputed heavyweight champions in history. Jake Paul, on the other hand, is a novice, club-level, cruiserweight, who has never really faced elite opponents. Various sport experts have given their opinions regarding this fight, one of which is Dana White, the UFC president. Yes, it's that serious. But before going into Dana White's comment, let's see what some others are saying. Dave Allen acknowledges that Mike Tyson remains one of the greatest heavyweights champion to exist, but even the strongest people can be weak. In Tyson's case, Dave believes age is that weakness. He believes Tyson should be participating in boxing matches at 58. He goes further to point out the dangers of an older athlete, like Tyson facing a younger, fit boxer like Jake Paul. Welcome back to Alchemist Boxing, fight fans. Today we're talking about the fight of the season, Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. With opinions flying from all directions, we're here to break down if Jake actually stands a chance to win, or if Mike, despite his age, remains the indomitable force we remember. Let's get into it. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on that notification bell. Jay Cornegay recognizes the impressive nature of Mike Tyson's recent training videos, which show him looking fit and strong despite his age. However, he points out that looking good in training is quite different from competing in an actual fight. He also addresses the feasible challenge Tyson faces due to the age and physical advantages of Jake Paul, and how this is going to make it a tough fight for Tyson, regardless of how he appears in training videos. He says, "I know a lot of people go back to Mike Tyson's training video, and he looked really impressive and it looked like he was in shape. But it's a pretty big hurdle for Tyson to overcome a younger, bigger foe like that despite how he looks on A." Supporting Jake Paul, he says, "He's bigger than most people think, and he's somewhat skilled and has more power at this particular time than Mike Tyson. Conor McGregor is totally against the idea of Jake Paul fighting Mike Tyson, arguing that He also identifies the financial compensation as a form of temptation and the crowd such a fight would likely pull. He says, "Yes, I can understand it's a lot of money. It's going to attract a lot of eyeballs. The only critique I have for Jake Paul is that if you want to take the sport seriously, then take the route world champions take. Fighting top 20, top 10, top 5 opponents, and eventually becoming the mandatory to the world champion. That's how you do it. That's how you gain the respect from the fight fans, not fighting Tyson." However, he opines that it is not the proper way to pursue a career in boxing. McGregor advises aspiring boxers to follow the traditional path to success, fighting increasingly tougher opponents, aiming for world championships, and striving for Olympic glory. He expresses concern about Paul's crossover setting a bad precedent for the younger athletes, encouraging them to pursue fame through spectacle rather than legitimate competition. De La Hoya dismisses the seriousness of the fight, suggesting it's more about generating money and attention than genuine competition. He emphasizes that real respect in boxing comes from fighting credible opponents, not Tyson, who is much older and not in his prime. Well, this is not serious. Fighting Mike Tyson. I can understand it's a lot of money, it's going to attract a lot of eyeballs. That's how you gain the respect from the fight fans, not fighting Tyson. Jake Paul became well known in the combat sports world by fighting other YouTubers and MMA fighters like Nate Diaz, Anderson Silva, and Tyron Woodley, and Andre August and Ryan Berlin. But these matches were not on pay-per-view and generated less excitement. The fight with August was held in a modest Orlando resort hotel with around 4,000 seats. While experimenting with a traditional boxing path was an intriguing move, Paul is fundamentally a prize fighter, not a rising boxer aiming for world championships. His success lies in creating spectacles, which are far more profitable. Fans are less interested in seeing Paul beat lesser-known opponents and would prefer him to face stars like Tyson. Paul seems to have understood this dynamic, recognizing the importance of high-profile matchups for maintaining his fame. Bellew also points out the potential consequences of the fight. He hopes Jake Paul will approach the match respectfully, recognizing the immense physical power Tyson still possesses. Bellew warns that if Tyson were to become aggressive, Paul could be in serious danger, emphasizing Tyson's formidable strength by saying he could pull his head off his neck. He says, if Mike kicks off, then Jake Paul is in a really bad way. He would pull his head off his neck. Enjoying this video? Do not forget to like and subscribe. Tyron Woodley. Having fought Jake Paul twice, Woodley respects Tyson's experience and fears his power, despite Tyson's age. I've been in the ring twice with Jake, and I don't want to get in the ring once with Winning Mike. He argues that experience outweighs age in this fight. The age is not a factor. That's a wash. Experience level is obviously going to go to Mike Tyson. Woodley further stresses that Tyson remains a formidable opponent, and he's still as dangerous as ever. Mike Tyson, right now, off muscle memory alone, could step on the wrong eggshell and let off a combination that could kill most people. He has a power and ability to shift organs in your body if he hits you with the right force. So I think he forgot more technique than Jake Paul has ever learned in his life. Mike Tyson's debut in boxing is legendary, with a career boasting numerous wins, accolades, and unforgettable moments. Tyson has cemented his legacy as one of the greatest. Tyson, popularly known as Iron Mike, is renowned as being the punch-perfect killer who ended the career of the great Mike Spinks in June of '80. He's also recognized as a man who avenged Muhammad Ali for a second time by knocking the legendary Larry Holmes down and out in January of that same year. Even in his current age, he's still a beast in the ring. When fighting against Roy Jones Jr., Iron Mike is an aggressive jack-of-all-trades in almost every category. Power, speed, skill, counter, defense, and combination. There's a reason he's called the baddest man on the planet. Because if you compare them to someone like Mike himself, there is a huge gap between them. Tyson is built differently, trained differently, and fought differently. However, at 58, questions arise about his current ability to compete at a high level. While Tyson has shown impressive form in recent training videos, age remains a significant factor. Commentators have emphasized on this age factor and the likely impact it may have on the fight. While many seem to be interested in the fight, some combat experts have expressed their disappointment in Jake Paul for accepting to fight Mike Tyson and as for Michael Bisping, he expresses disappointed in Jake Paul for even thinking of accepting a fight against Mike Tyson. He says, you, Jake Paul, should be ashamed of yourself. And the biggest joke is, you don't even slightly realize why. He also expressed concern about Tyson's ability to take a punch at his age and questions whether Paul would genuinely attempt to knock out Tyson, as doing so would reflect poorly on him. The reality is, can he still take a shot at 58 years old? We don't know. And will Jake Paul really go for it? Because you'd have to be a certain level piece of S-sheen to really go and try and knock this man out. Stephen A. Smith expresses strong disapproval and sadness about the idea of Mike Tyson, now 57 years old, participating in a sanctioned boxing match against Jake Paul. He acknowledges Tyson's legendary status and contributions to the sport, but believes that Tyson's age and the fact that he retired 20 years ago make such a match inappropriate and potentially dangerous. I'm sad. I'm saddened by it. I'm disgusted by it. I don't like it one bit. Great Mike Tyson, who we all treasure because of the years of greatness he gave us. But he is 57. I mean, come on, man. Why be at a sanctioned boxing match? Dana White, UFC president, has also weighed in on the match. He expressed concerns about Tyson's health. I love Mike. And I hate talking about this because he always gets mad at me when I talk about this stuff. White said on the Pound for Pound podcast, I'm not thrilled to see him do this stuff. When the fight happens, he'll be 58 years old. It'll be a 31-year age difference between these two. He also mentions that Jake Paul has previously lost to people his age, and fighting with a much older opponent isn't a valid challenge. Jake Paul did fight a kid his age and he lost. I just saw this thing on the internet yesterday. I reposted where it say if he beats Mike Tyson, he's going to fight Clint Eastwood next. Clint Eastwood is 93 years old. I don't know, man. Both fighters stand to gain substantially from this bout. It's projected to attract massive viewership, making it a lucrative event for all involved. Platforms like Netflix see this as a golden opportunity to drive subscriptions and engagement. For Jake Paul, a fight against Tyson offers a chance to solidify his place in boxing history and prove his legitimacy. For Tyson, it's a lucrative opportunity to re-engage with his fan base and potentially end his career on a high note. Paul George, an NBA player, humorously states his unwavering support for Mike Tyson, highlighting Tyson's intimidating reputation regardless of age. He points out that Jake Paul is stepping up by fighting a boxer instead of an MMA fighter. I'm not going against Iron Mike. I'm not going against Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson's one of those guys that you see his name, I'm voting Mike Tyson. I don't care the age gap. He's Jake Paul fighting a boxer and not an MMA guy. Ryan Garcia expresses his affection and support for Tyson. I love you, Mike, said Garcia. You look good. I'm going to your fight. I'll be there. I'm with you in everything, remember that. Always in spirit. I got you. Love you, Mike. A few experts also think Jake Paul is going to win. British boxing star Denzel Bentley said Jake Paul is an athlete. He is a young man and coming into his physical prime and is trying to take boxing seriously. So I think it could be very dangerous for Mike Tyson. UFC legend Chael Sonnen isn't holding back his opinion, predicting that Jake Paul is going to beat Mike Tyson. Future of boxing, this fight represents a trend where boxing intersects with entertainment, blurring the lines between competitive sport and spectacle. It's a double-edged sword, bringing attention to the sport but also raising questions about its direction. Tweets and posts about the fight are all over the place. Some fans are excited to see Tyson back in action, while others are worried about the implications of such a mismatch in age and experience. As the fight approaches, one thing is clear. It's going to be a major event. Whether you're Team Paul or Team Tyson, the matchup promises to be entertaining. We'll have to wait and see if Jake Paul can overcome the legend, or if Mike Tyson will remind the world why he's called the baddest man on the planet. While anticipation continues to build from both fans and foes, here are some shocking things about Jake Paul's past that are going to leave your jaw on the floor. Click the video on your screen to watch it now. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content. See you next time.